So as of right now, it is literally the day after the car show. And some extra parts have actually turned up just this morning to where I can finally fix some of the problems that have been going on with the Honda. And secondly, I now have enough space in my actual garage. Most of the time, I've just been filming outside to where I can actually pull the car in here and actually do some work in the actual garage. So the only thing I need to move is the mower. So let's do that. Right, so now that all the grass and all the dirt and everything that was in here is now out, I can now go get the Honda that's sitting over in the carport, bring him on in. So if you'll remember from yesterday, when we did the plugs and everything on this, that is leaking quite a bit of oil into the spark plugs. And I'm pretty sure that's because the O-rings that go around the plugs that go through the cylinder head have been either have perished or have failed completely, which I think probably is the case. So I went yesterday after the show and ordered a gasket set for it. So that's going to be the first thing we do. There's another thing coming that I'll kind of show you later on. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to take the coil off. We're going to set these to the side. I'm going to number them first. And then I believe it's just this vacuum hose right here and these 4 little 10mm bolts. And we should just be able to pop this cover off too. And we're going to do something special to that too. I'm going to show that here in a little bit. But just get these out of the way and then crack on and see what's going on underneath here. Right, so I've got the valve cover loose, and this is going to see what is actually going on in here. So I'm going to come to the other side. I'm going to move you guys forward so I can get around. So here we go. Oh, here we go. Don't want to move this too much. Yep. So that is interesting. I'm going to set this down right here. I'm kidding. It's not that heavy. But let's have a look. Right, so I have now switched to my handheld, and I got my little flashlight right here. So, yeah, there is still, even though I did this yesterday, there is still some oil in here. And it's a little bad on that one, but not too terrible. Yeah, and this is why I cleaned the garage beforehand, because you don't want any of that stuff coming in here. So what is actually going on here is what is still on the valve cover. Let me set this down. I'll grab that. All right, so this is the root of where the problems is, and it's actually with these little guys right here. These are the O-rings that are supposed to keep oil from going in there, but as you can see by this one, see how it's a little misshapen right there? That's where oil has been leaking through and getting into the cover. So if we replace these, we should not have that problem anymore. But first, need to clean it up though. Yeah, so this one is the problem cylinder one. And I think if you can see, that's supposed to be a perfect circle. It's not. It's got this little bump right here. So that is where the problem is coming from. All right, I also now want to see what condition this gasket is in. Oh. Yep. So this gasket isn't too terrible, but one thing I can see, in fact, I might pause and show you guys this. Yeah, so that is what's going on right here. And it is usual to put sealant right here, but you have a little bit of it hanging over the edge of the cover. And this isn't unusual, but what's worrying me was this part right here. This little, if I can focus, this little hanger part right here, because that was actually going inside there. Now, you do not want any of this inside your engine because there's a little oil way that it goes down right here. Little hole that goes down through the valve cover, not through the head, and actually down into the block. And if it's and this stuff right here can block that. So it is vital that we get rid of all of this so we can get ready to put the new gasket on. Right, so we got that cleaned off, and it's important that you get every little bit of sealant that is left on there off. Because if there's even a little bit of sealant left on there, then that will interfere with the fitment in between the new gaskets. And that is something that we do not want. Because an interference with the gasket means that you'll just have another leak and then you'll be back to square one again. So since we have that done, that's ready to go back together, I'm going to do something special to the valve cover. Right, so I've got the valve cover all messed up. I am not doing the individual letters. That's just going to take forever. And I'm going to use the same, I think this is Chevy red, but it's the paint that I have, so that's what's going on it. So you noticed I just masked the top of these, but did the under of these. And that's because these I'll get these. That's because these little guys right here go right here, and that's rubber right there. Right there, and that's to take up the torquing when you tighten these down. So I just played it safe and covered these up so it doesn't interfere with that. Right, so I'm now going to start putting the gasket on. Yeah, on this part, it's going to go in dry. I've got this backwards crap. And if you guys hear something in the background, it's this fan right here, because it is hot in here. So I'll set this back. So I'm going to put that in. Make sure it's fully seated in here. This is quite satisfying, actually. All right, so we got that on. I'm gonna put the sealer, and that does a little bit at that corners because the corners is what is the weak point. That's why you got to put a little bit of sealer on. So I'm gonna do that, and then we'll put this back on. Now, just before I put these on, I went ahead and put new ones of these in here. So we should be good. So here we go. Make sure it's all in. All in. I'm gonna move this out of the way. And here we go. There we go. So now I need to put these in. These are important. These 4 little washers right here play an essential part because they're a part of the only 4 bolts that hold this down. So it's important that you have these. And so I didn't lose them. I put them, you put the bolts for these in this little bag, marked the valve cover bolts. So they're right there. So I'm going to get these out and put them back in. Now these are supposed to be torqued at 7 to 8 foot-pounds, but I don't have a torque wrench that's that small. I only have one that goes down to 20 foot-pounds. So I'm purely going to have to do this by feel. So, and you kind of want to get, the rule of thumb is you want to go in a kind of X factor, because if you do one side, that might offset the other side. So I'm going to go this side to this side and then that to that. So that way I have a kind of X motion there. So I'm going to go until be a little bit of torque, which is about right there. And I'll probably just go quarter turn. Wait until you feel it start to tighten, and then again, quarter turn. Yep, all right, so here we go. Quarter turn. Last one. Go until you feel tension, and then quarter turn. Yep, so that should be good. So now I'm going to bring in the plug wires. We got number 4. It's number 4 right here. 3 to 3. 2 to 2. And 1 to 1. Right. Oh, you popped out right there. Right. Set these in. Right. Now you might be wondering, where's your oil cap? And well, I had a little bit of extra paint. Yeah. So now, there we go. Right, so I'm going to jump in here and start it. And I'm going to use the camera from my phone to actually look in these corners right here and make sure that we're not leaking. We're all good. Right, so I've come outside so I don't choke on fumes in there. And I'm gonna get all this cleaned up. Let this warm up for a little bit and recheck those valve cover bolts. Because as the heat gets hotter, those gaskets are gonna want to expand, and then it'll try to bring it up, and I'm gonna try and make sure that they're all seated. Right, so while this is warming up, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a tour on what's going on in here. So I've actually been using this little thing right here to film most of my stuff, because in here the lighting's not that great, and because I have this, I can add a bit more light, do different other shades. So normally I've just been doing it in this mode because it provides the most amount of light. And it's also important that I have this microphone, because while I'm in here, I have a fan right there with the window open, a fan right there. So you have like 3 or 4 fans going in here, and I have this just so you guys can hear what I'm saying. So yeah, so this is warming up. It's actually doing really well right now. There are no leaks whatsoever. So I've had this going now for it's almost up to temp. So I think here in a little bit we'll go over all those bolts again, and we'll wrap this all up. Right, so it's up to temperature. I want to test this microphone out on something. Right, so I've got this hooked up right now, and this is up to temperature. And the one thing I want to find out is how good is this little one. So I'll put this by the exhaust and give it a few revs. So, right, so I'll come down here, and where is he at? He's that little pipe right there. So I'm gonna try and stick this next to it and see what it sounds like. Probably gonna stick it right about there. Got a little clip right here. I'm gonna put it right here. Yeah, that was loud, even in there. Yeah, I just went back and looked at it, and didn't do that well. At least I know I did stand a better microphone in order to do that, or this thing's that loud. Right, so this is now up to temp. I'm gonna go over these one more time. That one's good. That one's good. That one's good. Yeah. And this one, we're all good. No leaks. We should be all set. So because I had a limited time to work on this car yesterday, I didn't get any B-roll of it with its new black hood. So enjoy this. Let's get this car